Live from Arkansas' streaming news leader, this is THV 11 Morning News at 7 on THV 11 Plus.
Good morning, everybody. Happy Thursday. Thanks so much for joining us here on THV 11 Plus. Getting closer to the weekend, but before we get to the weekend, we got some fog to deal with out there. Been a little not crazy messy so far, but we're about to get into the rush hour right now.
The thick of it, very foggy.
Tracy, what's going on with all this fog?
I know. It's kind of yuck.
Yeah,
it's going to get better though. That's the good news.
That's good. Yeah, once the sun comes up, what do you say? It burns it off a little bit.
Yeah, burns it off.
So, well, it's not happening just yet.
Not
7
yet.
o'clock right now. Let's see what's going on our roads. And we had an accident early this morning on 30, but really that didn't impact the traffic at all, or like the volume, because it's always very busy coming in on 30 eastbound. So this is what's going on right now. Did I say 30 eastbound a second ago? Okay, so 30 eastbound, 24 miles per hour around Alexander. You can see it's very slow too there at the 430 interchange, and it's slowed down all the way. Really, the only exception is right there in front of the outlet mall, but besides that, it is very slow past the Bryant Parkway exit. I want to get a look right now of what's going on here. This is Sykes Boulevard on Interstate 30. You could see that fog. Tracy, look at that. I mean, it looks worse now than it did a few minutes ago, I think, but just like Tracy was saying, leave a few minutes early because it could impact your drive. People are definitely going to be driving slower, as you should. And let's see how that's impacting our drive times into downtown Little Rock. It's increasing just a little bit. Conway's still about the same, 24 minutes into downtown, but Benton definitely increasing as we see more volume on 30 eastbound, 22 minutes into downtown. It still looks good if you're coming in from Cabot at 19 minutes. Tracy?
Well, we are taking a look at the fog. There it is, but we've got the sun rising again. We're starting to see a little bit of that, but the good news is, we're starting to see it not be quite as thick, because earlier it looked like this. So it is going to start to get a little bit better, but usually after sunrise, we start to see that fog get just a little bit worse. And this is what we have. I have issued a weather impact advisory this morning just for the fog, to make sure you're slowing down, leaving extra space. Again, we are certainly going to need it. That reading is taken from the Little Rock Airport. So that is where we will see that. Of course, as Ashley showed you, it's not that thick everywhere and the visibility is not reduced that much, but certainly seeing a few areas that we are having a little trouble getting through. So take your time. Again, the roads are so far looking great, but if we are heading into Hot Springs, even Mena area, we are still seeing a lot of that. But right now, temperatures around 54. We're looking for those mid 70s again today. We'll talk more about the cold weather headed our way coming up in just a couple of minutes.
Starting tomorrow, thousands of flights could be grounded nationwide. The Department of Transportation says it's a proactive safety move as the government shutdown drags on.
Now here at home, Clinton National Airport, those flights are still running without major issues or delays. That's according to their website's flight statuses.
The move comes as staffing shortages hit air traffic control hard, and flight delays are piling up during what is now the longest government shutdown in U.S. history.
CBS News' Jared Hill has more on what travelers can expect.
Our number one priority is to make sure when you travel safely.
Transportation Secretary Sean Duffy announcing an unprecedented plan to cut air traffic by up to 10% at the nation's 40 busiest airports starting this Friday. Duffy citing the impact the government shutdown is having on air traffic controllers.
We are starting to see some evidence that fatigue is building in the system in ways that we feel we need to work towards relieving some of that pressure.
A surge in sick calls from airport employees working without pay has led to delays in ground stops. The Trump administration warned staffing issues could get worse, with air traffic controllers set to miss their second full paychecks next week.
If the pressures continue to build even after we take these measures, we'll come back and take additional measures.
Several major hubs, including those in New York, Chicago, Dallas, and San Francisco, could be hit.
It's unfortunate that workers aren't getting paid, but to reduce the flights, they have to come to a solution. This is not good.
President Trump Wednesday urged Senate Republicans to end the shutdown, arguing it hurt them in Tuesday's elections.
The shutdown was a big factor, negative for the Republicans.
Democratic leaders called again for negotiations, looking to include an extension to Affordable Care Act subsidies to any bill to fund the government.
Stop the bull. Sit down and talk to us.
But Republicans insist on reopening first. The stalemate creating a major airport slowdown just 3 weeks before the Thanksgiving travel rush. Jared Hill, CBS News.
Local businesses are now stepping up to help neighbors hit hard by this shutdown. Now in its 37th day at Dogtown Barber Lounge, owner Chase Turner is collecting donations and teaming up with local food banks. Since announcing the effort this weekend, customers have been helping out in a big way by donating money and supplies that are now filling the front of the shop.
I think that we've reached a point where the government has failed a lot of people, and we can see that in our community. Corporations have failed people. You have people that are working 40, 50, 60 hours a week and still can't put food on their plates. And so we've just reached a point where it feels like it's coming back full circle to where these communities have to support themselves.
Healthy Life Pet Clinic is also lending a hand, collecting non-perishables for both families and their pets. Veterinarian Dr. Caitlin Lang says other clinics across Central Arkansas are joining in with the same goal to keep communities supported throughout this shutdown.
I'm hoping to kind of offset some of that financial burden and keep their pets fed and themselves. I hope we can just, take a little bit off their minds this season for sure.
Today, state lawmakers are set to hear from DHS officials for updates on which programs could soon close or pause. And if you or someone you know needs information about where to find food or other help, you can always text the word food to 501-376-1111. We'll send the information directly to your phone.
Investigators are still on the ground in Louisville, Kentucky, investigating the crash Tuesday of a UPS cargo plane. The plane caught fire, crashing into nearby businesses. The aircraft was carrying 38,000 gallons of fuel, triggering massive explosions. Flight 2976 was gaining speed on the runway when the left wing caught fire. Surveillance video shows the plane tilting, trailing flames, and crashing into buildings. At least a dozen people were killed. Some UPS employees still remain unaccounted for. But the NTSB has recovered the black box recorders to try and help determine what caused the crash.
We have viewed airport CCTV security coverage, which shows the left engine detaching from the wing during the takeoff roll.
Local officials say power is restored, water is safe to drink unless advised otherwise, and the air quality is being monitored. The UPS CEO says, quote, "Our hearts continue to be with all who have been impacted." Time now 7:07 at the state capitol. Governor Sanders and the Department of Finance and Administration have submitted the state's application for federal funding under the Rural Health Transformation Program. The proposal targets 4 key areas: healthier living, stronger care networks, a larger rural workforce, and advanced telehealth systems. The Centers for Medicare and Medicaid Services will ultimately decide how much funding Arkansas receives by December 31st. State leaders say the plan aims to expand access, improve efficiency, and strengthen healthcare in rural communities all across Arkansas.
Also at the state capitol, more candidates are officially filing for office. Northwest Arkansas Congressman Steve Womack has now made his re-election plans official. The Republican from Rogers seeking an 8th term representing Arkansas's 3rd congressional district. Womack is among a group of congressional Republicans that President Trump endorsed earlier this week. Senator Tom Cotton, fresh off filing for his re-election bid on Monday, is now pressing federal regulators over what he calls a growing threat from China. In a letter to FDA Commissioner Martin McCary, Cotton raising concerns about the illegal nicotine vape products entering the U.S. from China. He writes that communist China is flooding American markets with illegal and potentially dangerous products, many of which he says are designed to target young people.
Now let's check in with Ashley King and get a look at the roads at this hour. Ashley, how's it going?
Yeah, we have an accident that's causing some slowdowns right now on Interstate 430. This is near the Stagecoach exit, so that could impact also 30 eastbound, backing things up there from 430 to 30. Let's take a closer look at what's going on with this. So you can see it's right there past Stagecoach, and this is near mile marker 2. It's off to the left and right hand shoulders. It's in the median too, but it's moving at 28 miles per hour here. And then it's also slow on 30 eastbound around Alexander and past the Bryant exit as well. So this is what that accident looks like. You can see several vehicles are involved here. Again, this is on 430 going northbound. So just expect some delays if you're coming in this way into West Little Rock. Our drive times into downtown Little Rock still look pretty good though. It's looking about the same if you're coming in from Conway. Benton starting to increase 24 minutes to downtown, and then a little bit, maybe 3 minutes since last time that we checked. It's increased coming in from Cabot to downtown. Tracy?
Well, we've got that fog out there that I think is slowing some folks down. Luckily, people are being careful. That's the good news. But I know there's going to be a lot of people getting on the roads here about this time, dropping off at school. So I have issued that weather impact advisory again. We don't have a dense fog advisory, but just it's slowing people down. We need to use a little extra caution because of that reduced visibility, especially in the neighborhoods. The kids are, of course, at the bus stops at times around now. And also, you know, someone could be out maybe taking a walk or walking the dogs or maybe just go out for a run. So leave early. Allow a little extra space on the roads for sure. We are looking at some of that here in Central Arkansas. This is around the airport right here, so not widespread, you know, citywide, but certainly seeing some areas where it is pretty thick out there, and especially if you are headed on Interstate 30 or headed maybe to Hot Springs area. We're starting to see that a little bit around that Conway, Mayflower area as well. This is what it looks like outside. Not much to look at. Now this is up on the Simmons Bank Towers, but otherwise we are going to start to see a little of this moving out, but the winds aren't helping us at all. Today, hour by hour, it's going to look much, much better by the afternoon.